Superhero films are notorious for having deleted scenes. Typically, when you're filming an adaptation of something with tons and tons of source material, but working within a reasonable theatrical run time limit, you're bound to get lots of scenes tossed out and left on the cutting room floor, or rather buried away forever on a hard drive. It's a digital age, people. That being said, some of these deleted scenes do make it into the special features or DVD extras, but these days more and more rumors keep coming out about how certain scenes from certain films have been hidden away forever, and for mostly good reasons. So today we're diving into some of those mysteries with our list of the top 10 deleted superhero movie scenes that you weren't supposed to see, and probably never will. Get ready to be disappointed. In at number 10, web shooters. If you're a big Spider-Man fan, you were probably a little bit bummed by the way the character's webs were represented in the first series of Spider-Man films by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire. So in the comics, Peter Parker's webs come from web shooters that he wears on his wrists. In the film adaptation, the webs are organic, an idea the director was originally given by his peer James Cameron. As you can imagine, that didn't bode well with fans, which was a predicted reaction of Raimi's. He actually filmed a different version of them, with Peter wearing the web shooters, like the actual web shooters that he uses in the comics. The shot appeared in an early sizzle cut of the film for seemingly test audiences, but at the end of the day, the organic ones stuck, and the footage hasn't been seen since. Up next at 9, Loki hallucination from Age of Ultron. Considering how the MCU likes to jam-pack heroes and villains into all of their films, it may come as a bit of a surprise to some to see that Loki was absent in the Avengers Age of Ultron film, especially considering that between Thor: The Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok, he was MIA. But turns out that he was supposed to show up in Age of Ultron as a hallucination of Thor's. This was revealed by Idris Elba. Turns out the reason why it was cut was due to it muddying up the narrative of the overall MCU, and giving away too much information that would later spoil part of the plot, and his appearance in Ragnarok. Up next at 8, the Bat Trance. Actors all have different processes when approaching a character. Some, like Daniel Day-Lewis, choose to go full method. Others, like Michael Keaton, have tricks that they incorporate to get them where they need to be performance-wise. In Tim Burton's Batman, the first 1989 film of the franchise, Keaton played the title role, and approached playing Bruce Wayne and his costume counterpart as almost different characters. To get into the character of Batman, he did something that's been called going into the Bat Trance, a state of mind that helped him transition between the two. While Burton decided to film the process, it never made it into the final film, with many believing that it felt redundant, since Keaton's performance as Bruce in Bats varied enough to begin with. In at number 7, sultry stares from the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think by this point, everyone wants Star-Lord and Gamora to get their freak on. Their sexual tension is palpable, and everyone knows it's eventually gonna happen anyway, so perhaps it's not the end of the world that this exchange between the two Guardians of the Galaxy characters was axed. Director James Gunn told Vulture about the scene, which was initially included in pre-release material, and was intended to be a montage after the prison break sequence. Gunn stated that despite adoring it, he was forced to cut it because of music rights for the track being used under it. He's also admitted that he's not sure why another song didn't replace it, and that it was his favorite moment from the film that was cut. In at number 6, Burning Alive. Despite Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy being considered the darkest live-action adaptation the hero has had to date, turns out there's still subject matter within the films that was initially cut and had to be removed because it was just too much. This particular scene falls into that category. If you recall in The Dark Knight, there's a scene in which Heath Ledger's Joker sets a massive pile of mob money on fire. Turns out that they filmed a shot of the scene with the accountant Lau on top of the pile of money, burning alive. Yeah, I can see why that was cut, considering the film was PG-13. In at number 5, Bane's origins. We're taking a look at another film from that Nolan trilogy for this number. In The Dark Knight Rises, we're given a minimal amount of backstory concerning Tom Hardy's Bane in the theatrical release of the film. We get to see him in the pit, but there wasn't much explanation behind his mask or his other features. After the release, the film's costume designer Lindy Hemming revealed that there was in fact a scene captured to explain Bane's physical deformities and more of what he had experienced while in the pit, but inevitably it was cut. The reason why I was asked is because Nolan thought the scene was extraneous, and didn't add anything unique to the polished product. In at number 4, the Riddler gets rowdy. The initial Batman films were pretty PG. I mean, they had to be, considering the mass marketing it had at franchises like McDonald's, and all of the toys that were released alongside the movies. They were aimed at a large demographic, which very much so included younger audiences. So when Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, beat the crap out of a guard with his cane, well, it made sense that it got removed from the final cut, and the DVD special features. In the film, there's a scene where Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face tries to teach the Riddler how to punch, except the Riddler isn't able to knock out his target, which was the guard in question, so later he beats him up with his cane. In our number 3 spot, Plot: Harley's wedding dress. After Suicide Squad was released, rumors spread quickly online about all of the deleted scenes missing from the final film. While we'll be touching on that again shortly, this number in particular deals with a behind-the-scenes image that was leaked and published in a Chinese magazine called China Times. The picture features Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in a wedding dress. A very, very Harley-inspired wedding dress, that is. Fans have speculated that this scene probably would have been part of her backstory, detailing the toxic relationship between her and the Joker. Up next at 2, Quicksilver lives. One of the more painful moments in the Avengers Age of Ultron is when Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver dies heroically during battle, saving Hawkeye and a civilian boy in the process by shielding them from bullets with his own body. Turns out that during the production of the film, this fate for the speedster was actually up in the air. Director Joss Whedon really wanted to meaningfully kill off a character in the film's final battle, since, as the rumors go, he was denied that creative freedom in the first Avengers film. This time around, Marvel was much more open to it, a fact that was revealed after he filmed 2 alternate endings, one in which Quicksilver lives and another in which he dies, the latter being what made the final cut of the film. And in case you're wondering, in the version where he lives, the character's rapid healing ability would have justified his survival after protecting Hawkeye and the boy. And finally, in at number 1, Joker's scenes. While it seems that aside from that one Reddit user who threatened to sue Warner Brothers for not releasing the Suicide Squad scenes that appeared in some of the film's earlier trailers, most people have forgotten about the controversy surrounding the deleted scenes from the Suicide Squad film. After its release, Jared Leto made a big deal about missing scenes that would have added a lot more to his Joker character, a performance that was generally panned by fans and critics alike. He raved in interviews that many scenes had been cut from the film, not just his own, and even morbidly joked that if he died in the near future, that would be the only way those scenes would ever be leaked. But hey, at least he was front and center as the Joker for that Skrillex and Rick Ross music video. That's something. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these scenes would you have wanted to see in the final films? And what scenes do you think may eventually come out of the woodwork one day? Let us know your thoughts in those comments below. If you dug this video, please show some love and hit that like button. And if you want to hang out with us some more, why not subscribe? We've also got a ton of other nerdy videos you should check out, like the ones flashing in the playlist on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I've been Kelly Pally and this has been Top 10 Nerd. Catch you all in the next one.